At the intersection of the central highlands and the southern lowlands across a rugged forested region connecting Dong Nai, Binh Thuận, and Ba Ria Vung Tau provinces lives a small yet culturally distinct ethnic group, the Cho Ro people. With a population of only several tens of thousands, they are quiet and unassuming, yet they possess a rich treasure trove of folk culture, unique festivals, and a harmonious way of life closely tied to nature. The Cho Ro, also known as Cho Ro or Krau, are one of Vietnam's 54 recognized ethnic minorities, residing scattered throughout the southeastern region. The name Cho Ro can be interpreted as forest people or people of the forest, reflecting their deep-rooted connection with the wild natural world. Since ancient times, they have lived by farming, hunting, gathering, and maintaining a sacred bond with the forests and stream sources of both sustenance and spiritual heritage, where the souls of their ancestors are believed to dwell. Their language belongs to the Mundé Khmer branch of the Austro-Asiatic language family, sharing similarities with Mar, Xting, and even certain Khmer vocabulary from Cambodia. While Vietnamese is now widely spoken, the Che Ro mother tongue remains sacred, especially in internal community life, festivals, and spiritual ceremonies, preserving an irreplaceable cultural lineage. What makes the Cho Ro particularly special is how they preserve their traditions, not with the flamboyance of Central Highlands gongs or the elaborate weddings of the Dao people, but with quiet depth and poetic grace. From building stilt houses and performing forest rituals, to brewing rice wine, naming children, and choosing wedding dates, every aspect is infused with ancient beliefs, folk songs, drums, and the cyclical rhythms of the seasons. Though a small ethnic group, the Cho Ro exhibit remarkable independence and creativity. They have not been assimilated into larger communities or lost their identity amid the tide of urbanization. Instead, they persist in preserving their uniqueness. They are living witnesses to the enduring cultural values of southeastern Vietnam, an area often overlooked in ethno-cultural research. The journey to discover the Cho Ro through their stilt houses deep in the jungle, meals of forest bamboo shoots and coarse salt, and the resonant beat of Cho Ro drums during night festivals, a journey into a world that is mysterious, poetic, and deeply human, hidden within the seemingly familiar landscape of today's southeastern Vietnam. If you ever have the chance to travel along the red dirt roads winding through the forests of southeastern Vietnam, you may come across small villages hidden behind bamboo groves, cashew orchards, and expansive swidden fields. These are the villages of the Cho Ro people, where life moves at a gentle pace, where people live in harmony with the forest, and where the home is not just a shelter, but a vessel for traditions passed down through generations. The Cho Ro primarily reside in the provinces of Dong Nai, Binh Phuc, Ba Ria, Vung Tau, and parts of Binh Thuận, with scattered communities near the borders of Lâm Dong. Among them, Dong Nai, particularly the districts of Dien Quan, Tan Phu, and Cam Miris, considered the cultural cradle of the Cho Ro, hosting the highest population density and many traditional villages that remain largely intact. Unlike communities in rugged highlands or crowded lowlands, the Cho Ro choose to live in midland arealand that is not too steep, high enough to drain rainwater during monsoon season, and flat enough for building homes and cultivating fields. The landscape is typically composed of gentle hills interspersed with mixed forests, hardwood, bamboo, rattan, and small valleys with flowing streams. This terrain has fostered a distinctive, semi-nomadic, semi-settled lifestyle that blends farming with forest foraging. Cho Ro villages are usually located along streams or near natural water sources, an essential element in both their daily life and spiritual beliefs. Streams provide water for drinking, bathing, washing clothes, and fishing, and serve as sacred sites for water deity rituals at the start of the farming season. The Cho Ro believe that where clean water flows, spirits reside. Thus, protecting the water source is a collective duty, viewed as safeguarding the very soul of the community. Traditionally, the Cho Ro live in stilt houses made of wood and bamboo, roofed with thatch or terracotta tiles, now sometimes replaced with corrugated metal. Cho Ro stilt houses are neither as tall as Rome houses, nor as long as those of the A-Day, but are just the right size to accommodate multi-generational families. The space beneath the house is used to store firewood, bamboo, dried rice, and occasionally to raise chickens or pigs. A village typically consists of several dozen to over 100 households, aligned along a central path that follows the stream or a forest trail. At the heart of each village is the communal Hausa gathering place for meetings, ceremonies, welcoming guests, and where village elders pass down traditions to the younger generation. Today, due to urbanization and government resettlement programs, many traditional stilt houses have been replaced with brick houses with metal roofs. However, the Cho Ro still maintain traditional layouts. Every house has an ancestral altar, a central hearth, an outer area for receiving guests, and an inner space for sleeping. The fire is never extinguished. It provides warmth, cooks food, and serves as a spiritual flame that holds the household's soul. The primary livelihood of the Cho Ro is swidden agriculture and upland rice farming, intercropped with maize, cassava, sweet potatoes, squash, sugarcane, and peanuts. Their fields are usually a few kilometers from the village, located on low hills, cleared by hand, and cultivated in a rotational cyclione crop is grown. Then the land is left fallow. They do not use chemical fertilizers or pesticides, following traditional, environmentally friendly methods that ensure food safety. In addition to farming, they also hunt and forage in the forests, fish in the streams, and raise poultry and livestock such as pigs, chickens, and buffalo. Forest products like mushrooms, bamboo shoots, honey, bitter roots, and medicinal leaves are not only food sources but also offerings for rituals, ingredients for traditional medicine, or goods for barter at local markets for salt and fabric. In recent decades, the Cho Ro have also participated in newer economic models, such as cultivating cashews, black pepper, rubber, and working for agricultural enterprises. Still, for many families, the swidden field, wood-burning stove, woven basket, and hand-woven skirt remain enduring symbols of a sustainable and sufficient life. They may not be wealthy, but they are not in need for. They know how to live in harmony with nature, how to plant with the seasons, store by the cycle, and share when needed. In Cho Ro culture, nothing is more important than family and village community. Within this system, every individual, be it an elder, an adult, or a toddler, is rooted in a tightly knit structure defined by traditional values, behavioral norms, and clearly understood responsibilities. No one is a separate entity. Each person is a link in an unbroken chain, connecting ancestors, clans, villages, and deities. Traditionally, the Cho Ro family structure was extended, with several generations grandparents, parents, children, and grandchildren living together under one stilt house roof. The elderly were guardians of the hearth, storytellers, and keepers of folk songs and customary law. Parents worked the fields, passed down weaving, basketry, and rice winemaking. From an early age, children were taught household etiquette, to respect their elders, to greet adults properly, to remain silent while elders spoke, and to never eat before ancestral offerings were made. The Cho Ro place great emphasis on collective responsibility. Each member lives not only for themselves, but for the honor of the entire lineage. If someone commits wrongdoing such as theft, deceit, or adultery, whole family may be publicly criticized or even fined before the community. Conversely, if a member does something honorable, saving lives, excelling in a craft, performing rituals successfully, their whole clan shares the prestige. Today, many families have shifted to the nuclear model, just parents and children, but the spirit of connection remains strong. Children studying away from home still return regularly to visit grandparents. Ancestral offerings during festivals remain an occasion for family reunions, and weddings, funerals, and communal rituals still involve the extended kin network. The Cho Ro call their village a Bona social unit that is not only a place of residence, but a shared cultural and spiritual space. In a Bon, everyone knows each other, supports one another during illness, ancestral rites, weddings, and more. When a family builds a new house, the whole village contributes. Some cut bamboo, others raise the beams, cook meals, or guard the jars of rice wine. No labor is counted. This is how the Cho Ro embody the principle of living together, dying together. Each bon usually has a gaya lang, village elderpan, older person, respected for their knowledge of customs and moral authority. The Ja Lang not only leads ceremonies, but also mediates disputes, advises youth, leads forest rituals, and teaches traditional ways of life. Though not formally elected, the elder holds more influence than official titles because their authority is rooted in wisdom, ethics, and community trust. The Cho Ro deeply value harmony and detest division or conflict. Their way of resolving disputes is subtle yet profound. When two families fall out, they are invited to the communal house to share rice wine and listen to the elder mediate. Arguments are forbidden in front of elders or women. The elder listens, explains right from wrong, and gives gentle advice. If someone is at fault, they apologize, offer a chicken as a peace offering to the village spirit, and everyone shares a meal to reconcile. Those who refuse reconciliation may be penalized from doing community service to being barred from festivals. These principles are not written laws, but they are deeply respected. That's why, without prisons or police, Cho Ro villages have remained peaceful for hundreds of years. The Cho Ro's customary laws are not written in books. They are passed down orally across generations. The Gyalang is a living book who tells younger generations what is permissible and forbidden in specific circumstances. For example, anyone who cuts sacred trees must appease the forest spirit by offering a pig. Polluting the water source requires a public apology and a rooster offering to the water mother. If someone disrupts the rice ritual, the entire bon may suffer a failed harvest. Customary laws not only impose discipline but teach how to live with compassion, to share, to help others, not to flaunt wealth, and not to envy the skilled. They also guide behavior toward nature. Never burn forests recklessly, never kill pregnant animals, and never take more than needed. Today, as society modernizes, the Cho Ro have adopted formal administrative roles like hamlet heads or commune officials. Yet deep within, customary laws remain the cultural bedrock, a kind of invisible net that keeps the community from falling into selfishness, division, or materialism. For the Cho Ro people, marriage is not simply the union of two individuals, but the bonding of two clans and two communities. It is a sacred rite marking the transition into adulthood for young men and women. A proper wedding requires not only love, but also meticulous preparation, strict adherence to customary laws, and participation in deeply rooted spiritual rituals. Among the Cho Ro, love often blossoms at market gatherings, during traditional gong festivals, while working in the fields or forests, or through antiphonal singing at village ceremonies. Men and women are free to choose their partners, a progressive view compared to many other ethnic minority cultures. However, for a marriage to proceed, both families must fully agree, and above all, the union must not violate clan-based taboos. Marriages between close blood relatives, within 3 generations, are strictly forbidden. If such a union is attempted, not only are the couple banned from marrying, but their entire clan may be disgraced and required to hold an elaborate ritual to atone before the ancestors. A traditional Cho Ro wedding can last several days to a whole week, featuring vibrant and meaningful stages. 1. Proposal ceremony. Namkon. The groom's family brings jars of rice, wine, chicken, sticky rice, betel, and areca to the bride's home to express their intent. If accepted, the bride's family presents the dowry conditions, not gold or money, but symbolic items such as baskets, mats, rice wine, handwoven blankets, pigs, and chickens, showing the groom's family's readiness. 2. Engagement ceremony. Trang Nun. After a few days of preparation, the groom's family returns for the formal engagement. By this time, both sides have agreed on the wedding date, dowry items, officiants, and the rules of marriage. During the ceremony, elders from both clans offer blessings and advice. Live harmoniously, avoid violence, stay faithful, and work hard in the fields. The wedding day is a grand festival not just for the couple, but the entire village. The groom's side forms a procession carrying gongs, dowry baskets, and jars of wine. The bride wears a beaded brocade skirt, a hand-woven scarf on her head, and holds a bundle of young bamboo shoots, a symbol of purity and dexterity. The groom leads the procession, dressed in a buttoned shirt and carrying a traditional bamboo flute. At the groom's house, an ancestral offering is performed to invite the spirits to witness the union. Then follows a lavish feast that can last all day, with rice, wine, traditional dances, drum performances, storytelling, and antiphonal singing. Every guest receives meat, drinks, wine, and offers blessings. Children wear new clothes. Elders are seated at honor tables, and youths compete in games and singing. The atmosphere is both solemn and joyful, filled with warmth and community spirit. After the wedding, the couple typically lives with the groom's family, though they may move depending on circumstances. Remarkably, the Cho Ro view marriage not just as a union between spouses, but as an alliance between two communities. From then on, the bride and groom's home villages regard each other as kin. They attend one another's funerals, weddings, and large farming events, creating a lasting social bond. For the Cho Ro, marriage is not a private affair. It involves the village, the clan, and even the ancestors. If a couple lives harmoniously, works hard, and raises healthy children, it is considered a good omen, and the ancestors will bless the crops and the village. But if they are lazy, argue often, or the husband abuses the wife, the ancestors may rebuke them, bringing shame upon the entire clan. Today, weddings among the Cho Ro have become simpler, but core traditions remain: ancestral offerings, bridal processions, and dowries in the form of baskets, mats, and wine, preserving the breath of tradition within modern life. For the Cho Ro people, the world is not inhabited by the living alone. They believe that every place and every object has a soul, from the flowing stream, ancient forest, rock, tree root, to even the hearth inside the home. Everything is said to hold a sacred presence. As a result, they tread lightly on the earth, speak softly in the forest, and treat rivers and mountains the way one would treat elders in the family, with deep respect, reverence, and a touch of humility. The Cho Ro practice polytheism. They do not believe in a single deity, but rather in many spiritual beings, each governing a force of nature. The most important spirits in their daily lives include forest spirit, Yang Tari Eng, guardian of trees, animals, and farm paths. At the start of the cultivation season, a ritual is held to ask for permission to clear land and avoid misfortune. Water Mother, Yang Dak, a gentle female deity who nurtures the villagers through clean spring water. Polluting the stream or defiling the water source is believed to bring illness. Mother Water will make you sick. Rice Spirit, Yang Long, protector of rice blossoms and abundant harvests. At the end of each season, a new rice ceremony is held to thank this spirit. Ancestors, Ma Yang, the spirits of the departed who reside in the ancestral altar corner of the house. Offerings are made to them during weddings, funerals, housewarmings, and other significant events. These beliefs are not just stories, they permeate every action in daily life. Before entering the forest, one must speak words of permission. Houses are built only on auspicious days. Hands are washed before drawing water from the stream. Food is not tasted before an offering is made. Nothing around them is seen as inanimate, is friend, spirit, sacred kin. The most important festival of the Cho Ro is the New Rice Festival, Pianglong, typically held after the harvest season. It's not only a time to celebrate the bounty, but also to give thanks to spirits and ancestors for their blessings. During the festival, the community prepares ritual offerings: jars of rice wine, pork, sticky rice dyed red with gak fruit, cassava cakes, betel nuts, bananas, bamboo shoots. A ceremony is conducted at the ancestral altar, where jars of wine, bamboo flowers, and the elders' prayers are placed. Afterward, the village gathers to eat, sing, and dance around the fire. Traditional dances such as the basket dance, rice celebration dance, and rice spirit thanksgiving are performed to the rhythm of animal skin drums and echoing gong. In addition to the New Rice Festival, the Cho Ro also celebrate water source ritual, held at the start of the dry season to ask Mother Water for clean, abundant water. Lunar New Year ancestor worship. Families prepare ceremonial meals, sprinkle scented water, and invite ancestors to join in the New Year feast. New house ceremony. Before moving into a new home, rituals are performed to honor ancestors and the fire spirit for protection. Each festival serves as a time for bonding, teaching traditions to younger generations, and reminding everyone to live kindly, respectfully, and with gratitude. One of the most remarkable traits of Cho Ro spirituality is that it doesn't rely on temples or shrines. For them, even the household hearth is a sacred altar. A bamboo basket used for storing rice is believed to have a soul. If someone drops a wooden spoon, they'll pick it up and whisper an apology for having disrespected an object that listens. Dreams are also taken seriously. If someone dreams of a deceased relative calling out, or sees snakes, blood, or murky water, they report it to the village elder to perform a dream cleansing ritual to avoid misfortune. Dreams of ancestors are interpreted as a spiritual warning signs that one must reflect and correct their behavior, as if the spirits are still watching over their descendants. These beliefs, though simple, form a profoundly spiritual inner life, rich with awareness of the invisible. Perhaps it is this quiet reverence for the world around them that allows the Cho Ro, though living amid forests and rugged lands, always remain generous, cheerful, and deeply thankful for life. The Cho Ro live among the great forests, working the fields and following the streams. Yet in their hearts, art is ever present like a gentle breeze flowing through the hills. From the soulful sounds of the ken, bamboo mouth organ, the slow and graceful dances, to the folk tales told under moonlit nights, these have formed a vibrant, refined treasury of folk art. Music in the lives of the Cho Ro is not merely entertainment, it is a way to communicate with ancestors, nature, and one another. The sounds of the ken, gongs, and animal skin drums resound in every important occasion: weddings, new rice festivals, forest rituals, and ancestral farewell rites. Music is a wordless language that even infants and elders can understand. Gongs, the heartbeat of festivals. Though fewer in number than among the Mong or Ade people, Cho Ro gongs are precious heirlooms. Their sound is slow, steady, and deep echoing like the breath of the forest. In weddings, gongs invite the ancestors to witness. In funerals, they guide the soul back to the ancestral realm. In harvest festivals, they signal abundance. Gong playing is an art form passed down not through books, but through ears, heartbeats, and lived experience. Ken and drums, companions in harmony. The ken, with its high-pitched and resonant notes, is often played by young people while resting in the fields or during evening gatherings. Drums are made from hollowed logs with deer or buffalo skin stretched across. Together, they form rustic yet soulful duets. Songs, oral memories, set to melody. The Cho Ro have no ancient writing system, so they record their history through song. Lullabies, ballads, songs for calling the rains or blessing the fields. These contain stories of ancestry, farming wisdom, rice selection, romance, and moral teachings. One well-known song is To Rong Mung, about a gentle Cho Ro girl taken far away as a bride, crying through the night out of longing for her parents and her homeland. Its mournful, trembling melody still moves those who hear it today. The Cho Ro have many traditional dances tied to their rituals. Rice basket dance mimics women returning from the fields with full baskets of rice. Flowing hands dance, graceful hand movements that mimic the swaying of trees, and flowing water symbolizing gentleness and elegance. New rice dance. Men and women dance in a circle around the fire, holding rice stalks, moving to the rhythm of gongsa, symbol of unity and prosperity. What's special about Cho Ro dance is its inclusiveness. Anyone can join, regardless of age or status. Each step is not just a dance, but an invitation for nature to celebrate with humankind. If music is the language without words, then storytelling is the language of the heart. On full moon nights, around glowing fires, the elders begin, long ago, when humans still spoke to forest creatures. Cho Ro folktales often feature trees, animals, mountains, and rivers. Some tell of a girl who transformed into a deer to escape war. Others recall an ancestor who drank stream water without ever falling ill. Some stories offer moral lessons. If you eat rice, remember to replant. Clear land, but remember to honor the forest. Others caution wrongdoing. He who hides rice in the walls will lose it to floods. Or, one who betrays trust will no longer hear the hen play for them. Even today, as children attend distant schools and carry smartphones, they still love hearing these stories when they return home. Many young Cho Ro have begun recording, transcribing, and even animating their grandparents' tales, preserving these cultural treasures through modern means. In the daily life of the Cho Ro people, education does not solely take place in classrooms with blackboards and chalk. It lives in every stream, every hillside field, by the hearth fire, and in the storytelling of elders. Though they do not possess ancient written records like the Han, nor village schools with tiled roofs like the Kin people, the Cho Ro have developed their own flexible and enduring system of transmission where each generation learns from nature, community, and real-life experience. From a young age, Cho Ro children learn in the most natural way by observing adults, listening to elders, and trying with their own hands. Every meal is a cooking lesson. Every trip to the fields is a hands-on ecology class. Every forest outing is a survival course. Children are taught early how to distinguish between poisonous and medicinal leaves, catch stream fish by hand, weave baskets, and light fires with damp wood. Girls follow their mothers to learn cooking, pounding rice, weaving fabric, and tying cords. Boys follow their fathers to farm, set traps, split bamboo, and weave fishing baskets. Village elders are spiritual teachers, instructing children in folk songs, storytelling, customary laws, and life lessons drawn from real experiences. There are no grades, no diplomas yet. Every child grows up with respect, teamwork skills, and above all, deep understanding of the natural world, something that modern textbooks often overlook. The knowledge of the Cho Ro is not encoded in ancient scripts, but it is vast, detailed, and preserved through collective memory over generations. This body of indigenous knowledge refined over time and drawn from experiences rich in cultural identity. Agricultural wisdom. The Cho Ro follow lunar planting cycles, forecast weather by wind direction, and select rice varieties based on leaf color and growth time. They practice crop rotation, composting with forest leaves, and water management using bamboo channels. Folk medicine. Hundreds of herbs, tree bark, and forest roots are used to treat fevers, stomachaches, allergies. Elder women and ritual priests act as green doctors, not wearing lab coats, yet saving lives through their intimate understanding of nature. Customary law and social norms. Without law schools, the Cho Ro still resolve conflicts using Lurt-Turk, customary law, unwritten rules based on community justice and compassion. Nature signals and forecasting. By watching birds fly low, clouds change color, or hearing insect calls, they know when to prepare the rice, fix the roof, or postpone ceremonies like nature, whispering instructions to them. Unlike the top-down structure of formal education, Cho Ro knowledge is passed on through companionship. Elders don't command or preach. They tell stories, demonstrate, and let the youth explore for themselves. Learning happens through simple acts: weaving baskets with father, grilling fish with mother, listening to stories under moonlight, dancing during festivals. Storytelling sessions. On full moon nights around the fire, elders recount ancient folktales, forest legends, or family lore. These tales are embedded with moral lessons, belief systems, and cultural values. Festivals as collective classrooms. During rice harvest festivals, weddings, funerals, youth learn how to prepare offerings, conduct ceremonies, play gongs, welcome guests, and speak publicly. Every event is a gentle but meaningful exam. Learning by doing. Traditional crafts are taught hands-on. A father may hand his child a piece of bamboo and say, "Try weaving." If it fails, he gently corrects, "Look at this strip more closely." Through such trials and practice, children become skilled not by theory, but by memory and motion. Today, many young Cho Ro have gone to school, learned the Vietnamese language, and become doctors, teachers, engineers, and local leaders. They return home with new knowledge while honoring their roots. Some return to teach literacy classes for village children. Others write and publish Cho Ro folktales in Vietnamese. Some young women open weaving workshops, passing on skills to friends while earning a living. Some young men form traditional dance groups, bringing the basket dance to provincial and national stages. Modern education does not oppose tradition, it walks alongside it. The Cho Ro understand, what is good, we keep. What is new, we learn. This mindset shapes a sustainable cultural identity amid the tides of change. In an era where knowledge often comes with credentials, the Cho Ro's wisdom reminds us that some of life's greatest lessons need no certificates. They don't need Google to know which plant cures fever, because grandma already taught them. They don't need weather apps because looking at the sky is enough. They don't need administrative approval because every village already has elders and a built-in system of communal teaching. This indigenous knowledge, if preserved, recognized, and integrated with science, offers invaluable resources for sustainable education, ecological farming, forest protection, and cultural preservation. The world is changing by the day. Ancient forests are thinning, village paths no longer echo with the sound of bamboo flutes, and hearth fires no longer glow each night. Like many other ethnic minorities, the Cho Ro people are embarking on a new journey, integrating into modern life while striving to preserve their ancient cultural roots. This journey is not without difficulty, but neither is it without hope. We see small hands keeping tradition alive, young feet returning to old villages, and the sound of the Ken, mouth organ, rising amidst the cityscapes, if to declare, we are still here. We are still Cho Ro. The most profound transformations for the Cho Ro are not paved roads or tin roofs, but changes in ways of living, thinking, and valuing. Nuclear families replace extended households. Generations no longer live under one roof. Many young couples live independently near highways or industrial zones for easier work access. Shared family meals and storytelling nights are becoming rare. Youth leave the village. Many pursue education or jobs in cities, gaining access to urban culture, a good thing, but one that also distances them from local festivals, native language, and traditional crafts. Spiritual faith fades. With full plates, electric lights, and the internet, rituals honoring forest spirits or the Water Mother and the building of ancestral tombs are becoming less frequent. Spiritual values are increasingly replaced by material ones. Popular culture invades. Today's Cho Ro children may know TikTok better than traditional dances. They listen to pop music more than they sing To Rong Mung. Traditional dresses are swapped for t-shirts and sneakers. Woven baskets are replaced by industrial backpacks. Change doesn't always mean loss if guided properly, but in reality, many aspects of Cho Ro culture are at risk of disappearing. Language endangerment. The Cho Ro mother tongue is not formally taught in schools. Children mainly speak Vietnamese, and native vocabulary is rarely used. Without urgent action, language loss is imminent. Traditional clothing is fading. Few people still weave brocade. Traditional garments are worn only during performances or major festivals, not in daily life. Festivals shortened or abandoned. Many villages no longer hold new rice or water source rituals due to lack of time, ritual leaders, or funds. Ceremonies have become events, losing their sacred meaning. Interrupted skill transmission. Crafts like basket weaving, rice winemaking, and instrument crafting are disappearing as few young people take interest. Traditional occupations struggle to survive amid industrial competition. Despite many challenges, It is heartening to see countless efforts from within the Cho Ro community, volunteer groups, and local governments working tirelessly to keep the cultural flame alive. Cho Ro cultural clubs. In some communes of Tan Phu and Dirng Quan, Dong Nai, cultural clubs have been formed where artisans teach youth how to play gongs, perform traditional dances, tell folk tales, and learn the mother tongue. Community brocade weaving workshops. Elderly women have opened small weaving studios to teach younger generations spinning, dyeing, and weaving, also turning the products into souvenirs. Schools with cultural education. Some Highland primary schools include Cho Ro language, dance, and village festival lessons as extracurricular subjects. Traditional festival reenactments. Local authorities organize annual Cho Ro cultural days, where villages gather to perform music, compete in weaving, rice carrying, cooking traditional dishes, and storytelling contests. Youth returning home. Many Cho Ro youth return after college to work as commune officials, open homestays, or engage in community tourism, preserving and promoting their own cultural space. To ensure that Cho Ro culture is not just displayed as heritage, but thrives in daily life, a sustainable and grounded approach is needed. Bilingual education. Teach both Vietnamese and Cho Ro languages in kindergartens and primary schools. Learning materials in the mother tongue should be thoughtfully created and engaging. Cultural economy integration. Transform cultural products into marketable goods such as brocade textiles, jar wine, and festival tourism so that culture can sustain itself economically. Technology for preservation. Record storytelling, film traditional dances, and digitize customary laws to safeguard them from extinction. Establish Cho Ro cultural spaces. Create a living museum in the village with sample stilt houses, weaving looms, basket exhibits, and a space for traditional performance to preserve and attract tourists, students, and researchers alike. Preserving culture doesn't mean freezing tradition in time. The Cho Ro can absolutely enter the modern era with phones, internet, education, while keeping their cultural essence alive, wearing t-shirts, but wrapping a brocade scarf during weddings, working office jobs, but still knowing how to carry rice, play gongs, and speak their native tongue, doing business, but not forgetting new rice festivals, ancestral offerings, and village customs. This harmony, nurtured with love for their roots, will help the Cho Ro not only survive, but flourish in a modern world without losing themselves. Amid the increasingly hectic pace of life, Cho Ro villages continue to exist quietly like green dots on Vietnam's cultural map. Though their population is small and their territory modest, the cultural values the Cho Ro contribute to the nation are immeasurable. They are living proof of the harmony between people and nature, between past and present, between tradition and the aspiration for a meaningful future. The Cho Ro may not have thousand-year-old monuments or epic legends, but they possess a distinct and unmistakable identity marked by calmness, a modest lifestyle tied to the forest, the deep resonance of gongs, and sacred but understated festivals. Today, many Cho Ro, especially the younger generation, are becoming increasingly aware of their heritage. They proudly say, "I am Cho Ro," and they express this pride not only in words, but in action, wearing traditional attire at weddings, teaching their children the mother tongue from early childhood, sharing ancestral stories online with a modern voice, creating community media groups to promote their culture and customs. This is no longer a passive effort to preserve culture, it is an active revival, where the people themselves lead the way, rather than waiting for outside intervention. Vietnam is a nation of 54 ethnic groups, each one a vital piece of the cultural puzzle, and the Cho Ro are no exception. Though small in number, they contribute meaningfully to environmental stewardship. Through sustainable farming, organic methods, and respect for land and water, the Cho Ro help preserve the forest ecosystems of southeastern Vietnam. Preserving indigenous knowledge, herbal medicine, customary law, and traditional agriculture passed down without textbooks offer invaluable resources for sustainable education and research. Folk language and art diversity. The Cho Ro language, songs, dances, and traditional instruments are vital elements of Vietnam's intangible cultural heritage, promoting community values. The spirit of living together, resolving disputes through shared rice, wine, and elder guidance. These are powerful humanistic lessons for modern society. The future of the Cho Ro will be shaped by how they navigate two great currents, modernization and globalization. These forces present both risks and opportunities. Challenges: the risk of cultural assimilation, loss of language, vanishing traditional crafts, and societal stereotypes, labeling them as backward or underdeveloped. Opportunities: leveraging technology to preserve culture, developing community-based tourism, promoting bilingual education, and building regional economic models rooted in identity. The Cho Ro do not need to become copies of the kin to be considered developed. They can and should advance in their own way, with access to schools, healthcare, electricity, and clean water, while still maintaining their festivals, customs, language, and unique rhythm of life. Imagine a not-so-distant day Cho Ro children learning to read in their mother tongue, elders telling folk tales in community halls, young people weaving brocade and selling it online, and new rice festivals celebrated with the joy of Tet. This is not a distant dream, it is a possible future. If individuals and institutions work together, that future is not written in books, it is written in every small action. A gong played again, after years of silence. A young woman returning to teach weaving in her village. An old man holding a microphone for the first time to tell ancestral tales at a district event. A child greeting their grandmother in the Cho Ro language. The story of the Che Rotha gongs echoing through forests, brocade skirts by the fire, rice wine shared in ceremonies, not a closed chapter. It is a story still unfolding, with each Cho Ro person writing their own line. Culture never stands still. It adapts, transforms, and evolves. Yet it can still renew without losing its roots. And the Cho Ro with resilience, skill, and depth show us that even in a turbulent modern age, there are still villages that speak in their own voice, and people proud of the heritage flowing in their veins. The Cho Ro do not need others to speak on their behalf, they simply need to be heard. And if we listen long enough, we will realize, in that quiet voice lies an entire culture, a deeply human world, softly enduring in the forests of southeastern Vietnam. Amid the rush of modern life, Cho Ro villages remain quietly intact, like green dots on the cultural map of Vietnam. Though their population is small and their lands modest, the cultural values the Cho Ro bring to the national identity are immeasurable. They are a living testament to the harmony between humans and nature, between past and present, between tradition and the aspiration for the future. And when we listen long enough, we will begin to see, within their quiet presence, lies an entire cultura, deeply human world, whispering its existence amidst the forests of southeastern Vietnam. With only a few tens of thousands in population, the Cho Ro may seem small compared to Vietnam's 90 million. But if we use culture not numbers as the measure, it becomes clear. The Cho Ro are an inseparable part of the nation's soul. Unassuming and unpretentious, they are like a deep note in Vietnam's multi-ethnic symphonion that deserves to be heard, preserved, and cherished. Among Vietnam's ethnic minorities, few reside in the southeastern Regiona land, once seen as the transitional zone between highlands and lowlands. The Cho Ro serve as a rare cultural bridge. They are not entirely like the Highland Ade or Menong peoples, nor are they the same as the Kin lowlanders. They cultivate upland fields, play gongs, and honor forest spirits like the Central Highland groups. Yet they also live near rivers, farm rice, and have long interacted with Vietnamese society. This blend makes the Cho Ro a cultural hyphen, both distinct and expansive, helping us better understand the diversity and adaptability within Vietnamese culture. In an age of climate change and environmental degradation, the Cho Ro's sustainable and respectful way of living offers valuable insights. They practice crop rotation and avoid chemical fertilizers. They treat the forest as a sacred friend, asking permission before entering, avoiding sacred trees, and never hunting pregnant animals. They live by the principle of enough, not hoarding, not exploiting. These values, often seen as old-fashioned, are exactly the sustainable models being advocated around the world today. The Cho Ro live simply but sustainably, contributing quietly to the ecological balance of southeastern Vietnam. From unwritten customary laws and community-rich festivals, to music, storytelling, and handwoven brocade, the Cho Ro have created a living cultural heritage, passed down across generations. Each ancestral offering is a lesson in reverence. Each folktale told around the fire is a lesson in ethics and identity. Each basket dance is a celebration of labor and unity. This is not merely Cho Ro culture for Cho Ro people. It is part of the shared cultural heritage of Vietnam, enriching the diversity within our national unity. To ensure that Cho Ro culture does not become a museum relic but remains a live and evolving society, must act collectively. Official recognition. The Cho Ro language should be encoded and piloted in schools. Master artisans should be honored as living human treasures. Supportive policies. Provide technical and market support for brocade weaving, rice winemaking, and handicrafts. Encourage eco-cultural tourism development. Community education. Surrounding populations should be educated about the importance of minority cultures to reduce misunderstanding and prevent assimilation. Youth involvement. Cho Ro youth are the next storytellers. We must nurture pride in their heritage and create environments where they can thrive and innovate through their culture. Without the Cho Ro, Vietnam's 54 ethnic cultural mosaic would be incomplete not in numbers, but in meaning. Preserving and promoting their culture is not about helping a small group, but about safeguarding the depth, completeness, and beauty of Vietnam's own identity. The story of the Cho Ro gongs echoing through the forest, brocade skirts glowing by firelight, the warmth of communal rice winess, not a tale that ends. It is still being written, with every Cho Ro man and woman as its author. Culture does not stand still. It evolves, it adapts, but it can renew without losing its roots. And the Cho Ro, through their quiet strength, skill, and depth, show us that even amid the roaring currents of the times, there are still villages that keep their voice, and people who remain proudly rooted in their ancestry. So the next time you pass through Ton Phu, Dong Nai, and you hear gongs ringing over the fields, see a brocade skirt catching the sunlight, or a child bow gently to an elder, know this: Cho Ro culture is still here, not fading, not vanishing, but continuing to shine its quiet light upon Vietnam from the roots.